Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Potsmoker's Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Potsmoker's Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I get my name and authority. It comes from the Ketuvim, or Old Testament, of the Christian Bible. I use the King James Version of the Bible to put together the prophecy of Israel from the books of the prophecy. I started with Psalms, and I went through to the book of Malachi, which is the end of the Old Testament. And I put together the elements of the prophecy, and what I came up with was a book called the Book of Zion. And I tried to publish it, but because I had written it entirely in Bible verse, not in my own words, I could not legally publish it. So I had to write another book in order to publish the book I wrote. And the second book is the commentary from the Book of Zion. It's called the Pot Smoker's Bible. I've been publishing it online on social media because I'm not interested in money. So I don't need you to buy copies of the book. I will of course accept publications so that there can be a published book. But the important thing is that you know what God has planned for us because we're in the middle of the prophecy. Most of the elements of the prophecy are already actualized as occurred or is in the process of occurring. So it's really important that you know what the book says. So I'm publishing it for free. So just listen and you'll learn what God has to say about our time and what's going to come next. Now, I'm on the ninth chapter of the Potsmoker's Bible, which contains the sixth chapter of the Book of Zion. It is called The Salvation in Zion, and it goes like this. The last chapter introduced the Zionite people. Now they are spoken to by God for the first time. God explains their beliefs and their way of life, how they approach the Most High, but that they don't acknowledge Him. The people of Zion are the children of God. They come from every nation, city, and family. They hear His voice, but they don't listen to it. They are told to listen now and to learn their truth. To Zion is given salvation. It is through Zion that Israel is glorified. Israel is to add the Zionite people to their population, making them uncountable. The people who are told that they aren't God's people are the very people who God, the Gray, claim for themselves. It is through the daughter of the dispersion that the offering of Zion is made from the west, the Americas, beyond the rivers of Ethiopia. She, the daughter of the dispersion, becomes Zion by seeking out the Israelite God through telepathy or prayer. She makes contact with the Gray. It is because she is part of the prohibition of the seed of Jacob and Israel that she is telepathic and can be heard by the Gray. The activities of the Zionites at the time that the offering is made, it makes them ashamed when they realize the truth of their telepathy and the Gray that created them. They are guilty of denying Israel and the Grays that chose them, i.e., they hate religion and everything to do with Israel. They reject God. But the poorest of this people will believe in God and will trust in the words of the Torah. They are the afflicted who suffered the brunt of the prohibition. They trust in the voice, or they trust in the Torah and its God. When we are told that when God hears the cries of the Zionite woman, they respond. They had always been waiting to reply to the right person, someone who could cry out to them and be heard by them, and do so in the name of the Israelite God. We are told that the people of Zion weren't looking for God when they found the means to become telepathic. But when they became telepathic, they found God. These people are rebels. They anger God by doing whatever they feel like doing. They're anti-everything, or so it seems. They are said to sacrifice in gardens, and they burn incense on brick altars. They sing new songs. Let the inhabitants of the rocks sing. Let them sing to their God's glory. The islands and their people are mentioned, telling us that these songs come from islands. These songs that praise the God of Israel through rock music. Israel is advised to remember these island songs, because through the same device Israel will be redeemed. Their sins too shall be removed through a thick cloud of smoke. They are redeemed even as Zion is created and redeemed through holy smoke. Zion asks for and receives mercy from the grey. The acknowledgement of the God of Israel in prayer by a Zionite fulfills the preset conditions for the gray's return to Israel. This completes the adoption of Zion into Israel and enacts the plan set in motion by the ancient aliens. The people of Zion are now acknowledged as descendants of Abraham, rightful priests of the great, a people unknown or acknowledged by society until the God of Israel acknowledges them. Once Zion is recognized and the nation is created, it is there that God will reside. There they will build the cities of Judea, their own Jewish state, with the spaceport to allow for interstellar contact. The cities will be named after the cities of Judea in honor of Abraham the father. But I'm sure we'll name some of the songs just of some of the towns just for shits and giggles. That's not in the book, but just so you know. When the truth of the enslavement of the people of Zion becomes apparent, the Jewish people will recognize the truth of Scripture and rejoice in the fulfillment of the promise of Zion, their redemption, and the reconciliation with the gray. That's what they will understand. The God whose voice they once rejected, they will now embrace. The people of Zion, the seed, the meek of the earth, are told to seek out God before the worst happens. They are told that God will hide them from his fierce anger, and they will be safe. God will save them. Zion is told that all will be well with her and her people. They will be called a holy people. They will be sought out by all who seek God. To them salvation will come. To them the grave will come. They are his pleasant plan. But it says that God sought justice, but what he found was oppression. He desired righteousness, but instead a cry for help. His pleasant plant had been the cause of the oppression. This seed of Israel that creates the Zionite people. This chapter introduces several elements of the controversy of Zion. Again, we are told that God is the Most High. But now he is also called the Lord of Hosts. The host is the priest. The priest channels the gray. The gray have the ability to switch their consciousnesses with that of a human, but this requires an outside catalyst, like alcohol or other strong drugs. Shamans and holy men have always been doing this throughout human history. The Most High is the Lord of Hosts, who channels through the priests. We are also introduced to the pleasant plant, which correlates to our seed of Israel. This pleasant plant is the means by which the people of Zion are created. The Grey have informed us that holy smoke redeems Israel. By the thick cloud of smoke, the Most High God is found by those who aren't looking for him. The Grey are speaking about marijuana. The people of Zion are those who smoke pot. The language used by the prophets is the language spoken by the nameless people who use drugs. They don't care about religion. They just want to have a good time. Some of them, the poorest of us, call ourselves Christians or other religions. But for the most part, potheads don't care about God. These are the people created by the war on drugs. And they fulfill the prophecy of Zion to a T. They are the future nation of Zion. And with that, we begin the 6th chapter of the book of Zion, which is called Salvation in Zion. It starts with Isaiah 1, 2, and 3, and it becomes Zion 6, 1, and 2. Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for the Lord hath spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, and they've rebelled against me. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doth not know me. My people doth not consider. Isaiah is the chief prophet of Israel. He opens his book by telling us that God's people don't know that they belong to God. Israel is ignorant of the true nature of God, and Zion, a part of Israel, doesn't care to know that they're Israelites. These children are grown, but they rebel against God. The nation of Israel doesn't understand that their ancient God is in reality a race of aliens we call gray. Zionites are too busy partying to care that God is in their minds at all. They don't believe in God. Hosea 11:7 becomes Zion 6:3. And my people are bent to backsliding from me. Though they call them to the Most High, none at all will exalt him. Hosea 11:7 singles out the Zionite because they are the ones who get high and enter the place of God. They become telepathic by using drugs, but they don't know or care that they can now be heard by aliens. Jeremiah 3:14 becomes Zion 6:4. Turn, O backsliding children, saith the Lord, for I am married to you, and I will take you one of a city and one of a family, and I will bring you to Zion. In Jeremiah 3:14, the gray speak to the Zionites, saying that they should return to God because they are joined to them through telepathy. We are told that the telepaths are to be relocated to Zion. They will come from all over the world, from every nation, city, and bloodline. And there I'm going to stop for today, and we will pick up next time with Psalms 95, 7, and 8. And until then, may the Grey watch over you, guide you, protect you, and keep you from all harm. May they teach you right from wrong, and may you be worthy of them. May your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light, the unicorn way. Find your joy and pursue it. Stay happy and high. You have every right and reason to. Know that I love all of you. Wear masks. They keep you safe. Stay happy and high. No. that I will see you later, because I will never say goodbye.